Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about an economic subject. Title is CSR. Most of you who study in IMBA or MBA must be familiar with that. But concept is not that clear, at least among most of my students. They are familiar with CSR, but not familiar with every single thing that companies require or a company must do under CSR. I have prepared 5 points, and these are not only the 5 points. There are a number of points are there. We can go on for about a week talking about CSR, but only if you send me the request. So if you want to know more, if you have any kind of desire to delve deep into CSR, then please send me the request, and we are going to talk about probably 50 different kinds of points, which will last for about a week. But today we are going to highlight only 5 points of CSR. CSR was first introduced by Dr. Howard Bauer in 1953, 54 sometimes. CSR means a corporate social responsibility. Corporate has also responsibility towards society. And then again there is SCR. So society has also responsibility towards corporation. That is called as social corporate responsibility. So today we are going to talk about corporate social responsibility and not social corporate responsibility. Corporation doesn't mean that they can do the business in the society and gobble up all the profit that they can earn. No. But there are some distinct, precise responsibilities falling in the lap of the corporation. They must shoulder some responsibilities without any kind of feet dragging or dereliction. And these responsibilities, I should say, we have chosen 5 points to elaborate today. Point number 1 is 4 P's. Pandering the society, meaning provide every nitty-gritty need of the society. That is the first and foremost responsibility of every corporation, is to take care of the society, social needs, social wants, social desires, social essentiality, necessities, every single thing. So first P is pandering the society. Second P is prospering the society. America is a prosperous country, entire Europe, Canada, Australia, India and China are also getting prosperous society now, thanks to the companies. If companies are there, they're going to hire the people, pay them, better salaries, or we can say living wage. Then workers are prosperous, and eventually entire society will be prosperous. Third P is producing job. Government cannot produce that many jobs, as many as is required in the society. But the government itself also banks upon private sector to produce more jobs and hire more and more startups and university graduates and postgraduates. Fourth point is pay taxes. Now, Indian government needs about 17 to 18 lakh crore rupees every year to govern the nation, to invest in all kinds of entitlement program and finance the defense and finance the medical care and healthcare and hospitals and this, that, and education and every single thing. To finance those entitlement programs, government needs about 17 to 18 lakh crore rupees. Now, this much cannot be collected from the direct taxes from the people, but it's a corporate taxes. So, corporate 4P is paying taxes, and the corporates pay hefty amount of taxes to support government program that government finances. Point number 2 is consumer first, consumer second, and consumer the last. Corporate should not think about corporation alone, or corporate must not think about the HR alone. Corporate must not think about its own progress or prosperity alone. But at the same time, corporate must think about the consumers, provide them, furnish them, supply them the best quality product at the best price. Super normal profit must be avoided, only normal profit must be adopted. If the corporation is actually charging only normal profits, then the price of the commodities would be much lower and the consumer would be lured to consume more and more, and a conspicuous consumption in the society will be created. So first and foremost, entity that corporation must pay attention to is not anything else, no company, no management, no HR, no profits, nothing but consumer welfare. To better the consumer, to prosper the consumer, and to enable the consumer to consume conspicuously. Point number 3, the frog must not drink up all the water of the well. It's a Chinese proverb. Meaning of this proverb is the company must not consume all the opportunities, all the wealth, all the prosperity of the society by charging supernormal profits on the consumers. If the companies are going to charge supernormal profits on the consumers, the consumer will not be able to buy any more. Consumers will only buy need-based buying, not greed-based buying. Consumers are not going to consume conspicuously because companies are draining the society. Companies are drying up the society by making lots of profits, by charging supernormal profits and leaving the society bone dry. No. If society does not have any kind of resources available to purchase, to buy, then companies are not going to be able to sell anything. If the buyers are not there, the sellers are not going to be able to sell and the companies are not going to prosper. So company must not drink up like all the water of the society, like a frog must not drink up all the water of the well. Point number 4 is elaborated by Gandhiji. Industrialists are the custodian of the society or custodian of the companies. Industrialists don't actually own the company. Anil Ambani, Mukesh Ambani, Tata Birla, Bajaj, Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, they are not owner of the society. Once they are gone, after this someone else would come and then someone else would come and someone else would come. Today the Reliance belongs to Ambani family. But 100 years from now, this Reliance will not belong to Ambani family. Someone else would be taking care of Reliance. So Gandhiji has said that industrialists are only the custodian, caretakers, not owners, not the masters, nor the company belongs to them, but company belongs to the society. Company belongs to only society. Point number 5, dinosaurian dilemma. Dinosaurian dilemma is an economic concept in which companies should not consume as much as the dinosaurs consumed 65 million years ago, that every single tree on this planet was gobbled up, devoured by dinosaurs. And finally what happened? There were no trees. Dinosaurs starved to death and dinosaurs succumbed to starvation, died off extinct. Companies should not do that. Companies should not go for the dinosaurian dilemma. They should not root and scoot every single consumer in the society, every single buyer and the customer of the society. The customer does not have anything to buy even a loaf of bread. No. Company must make the society prosperous first. Then and then they can become prosperous. So what company must do? Plow back tiny chunk of profit, plow back, means whatever the profit they are making, say for example, Reliance made 10% profit, out of 10%, 2 to 3% or 4% should be spent on CSR, and more money must be invested in the society by diversification, by opening up more companies and more businesses, by providing the needs to the consumers of the society, by opening up the kind of business the society needs or society is lacking. That is called plowback. This word is coming from the farming. When wheat crop is weaker, is not good, that farmer is going to plow this wheat back. They are going to grow this wheat back, and the second or third crop comes out from the same wheat will be very good, better, beautiful crop, very strong and loaded with lots of protein. This is called plowback policy. So these are the 5 points of corporate social responsibility. In the future, we are going to talk about opposite word, social corporate responsibility. This is corporate social responsibility. In future, we are going to talk about social corporate responsibility, so you can have the knowledge of both the side of the coin. That's all the time today we have. Tomorrow we're going to talk about something else. Until then, thank you very much, and God bless all of us on this planet. Amen.